just like they say, well, the point is that they always say that you're too old to be doing something. And yeah, if you're
No.
being up, they'll say
Yeah,
that about a woman. You're too
but yeah,
old
you
to
saying
be
that he
running
need to be
around.
But
there.
this the thing though.
Okay.
This the thing. It
What's
don't
the
matter
difference
if
of
she's
him
20
being
years
married?
old or what she look like.
Yo, give
Because
one mic at a time, y'all. One mic at a time, please.
sorry, can I say this real quick? Like, it doesn't matter that because women can be a certain type of way when it comes to money, and the love of money is evil. So it doesn't discriminate on what she looks like or how old she is or anything. But it's getting to the point to where women are so allergic to accountability. We've gotten to the point to where we're really just blaming men for anything. Like, this man is obvious.
To be held accountable. Nobody's negating that Shorty needs to be held accountable, but we
can't blame
that
him.
Sharps have better.
But that's not the blame. We can't waste our time defending something or someone where they're not being accused. Okay, we're not accusing Shannon. We're not saying, okay, you deserve this. We're saying the likelihood of something like this happens increases because you are not behaving like an older man who's been there, done that. You've had decades of running through pussy. And
I want to know though, you guys, how many rich, powerful men? How many rich, powerful men throughout the years have dated women who are much younger? If you guys are trying to stop that trend, you guys are centuries late. Like, that's what men like to do. Okay, you're not going to change that. And successful men attract women of all ages. And look at the founder of Playboy. Look at all of these guys. Look at the 80-year-old who married the blonde porn star. Like, if you guys are trying to stop that trend, that's really not. But I do. I don't think two things can be true, ladies. Two things can be true. So hold on. Let me just say this really quick. Two things can be true. So nobody deserves to be attacked if they go outside and dress a certain way. Right. However, if your mama told you not to be sneaking out of the house at 11 o'clock at night with them come F me shoes on and those booty shorts on, and that girl that you're not supposed to be messing with, and then something goes down, that's also true.
That's all.
You just proved our point.
Like I said, I said two things can be true at the same time. You're not going to get rich men young women. That's just not going to happen.
What's really sad is that because like this could be like, this is a true like proof. Like, okay, so a thing about me, I hate feminists. I do. I think that it's a ruin, but that's a whole different thing. But the feminists are about to start backing up this woman, right? And then what's going to happen is, instead of women, like, because if we want to like try and stop this type of behavior from happening, we got to start holding women accountable. Like, no, not giving them like the benefit of the doubt, just being like, if anything, if you're not going to, don't say anything until bigger facts actually do come out. Because if we don't hold women accountable and we just go straight to blaming men, and then we sound ridiculous when we do blame men, like that's like a big core of, that's a huge problem. Like, because you can't believe all women. It's obvious what's going on. And if men are, even men who don't even have that much money as Shannon Sharp, they go for younger women. Like, what's his name? TK Kirkland always says there's a group of bitches graduating in May. You don't have to deal with that. And even older women can make false accusations, because they're older and they most likely are bitter and they just want to hurt, like, and when they don't get their way, it's just obvious what's happening. Now, you
make a good point. I think you said something, one thing that did make sense. The accountability definitely should start, I believe, in the courtroom. If they implemented some law that if you accuse, let's just say specifically to women that make accusations, but anyone that makes something as heinous as a sexual allegation, if it comes to find out that not only a sexual assault never took place and that you indeed, fabricated and intentionally lied, for, malice intent or anything like that, you will be subject to some sort of, conviction, some charges.
Jail time.
And it
I
is
feel like whatever.
I'll give you one better.
There's no first offense. You do 6 months probation. It's a mandatory certain amount.
Whatever that man was gonna get, they should get. So if they say, okay, he's looking at 5 to 10 years. Let him find out that you put that bitch in jail for 10 years, and then
okay.
You want to know how you make it stick? You want to know how you make the accountability stick? They need to come up with a false accuser registry. And you need to register as a false accuser and it be public record so people will know.
Like a sex offender?
Exactly. Because this type of false accusation stuff, it happens in the workplace too. That type of stuff happens in the workplace. Yeah. Where men get accused of being weird, and then they end up losing their job with no type of evidence. So you can't say that this only applies to successful people. As a man, you always have that risk. So there needs to be something.
I'd be scared.
Because if something happens and they come up with a false accuser registry and women actually start having to apply for it and sign on it, other women are going to look and say, man, I ain't trying to get put out there like that.
Anonymous.
And put them in.
Anonymous. If your daughter came to you and said somebody touched her, you believing her?
I'm going to investigate it.
I'll take. Or you can have.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Because there's been plenty of cases. Because there's been plenty of cases on these daytime talk shows where a man gets accused of something. You can look at Steve Wilkos. You can look at any of these daytime talk shows where a man gets accused. They run the lie detector test on the woman, on the parent, and there's a lot of times where they find out that the woman made it up. And they coach the kids to
your daughter.
Your wife came.
Now, if it's my daughter, obviously I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna hear her out. Then we're gonna investigate. No, listen, because I need to find out the details first. Because if I act based on me being angry, what if it comes out that it's not true?
No. That's your daughter. You believe you don't have to.
But listen. I'm being objective though.
Child, nigga. No, listen to me. Anybody that's not your daughter, she gets to be in.
Listen to me. Okay, but I have a younger sister. No, listen. I have a younger sister that I help raise. I'm the oldest of 3 kids, and my younger sister was my responsibility. So when she started to grow up, she got a little more freedom to go hang out with her friends and stuff. So anytime she ever had any sort of issues with anybody, she would come and tell me. And then I would go address the person. And I would take her with me so we can get things ironed out. I never really had to get in no fights or any type of physical altercations behind my sister.
But Anonymous, you going to investigate is the act of you knowing there's an accusation. But Jess is asking you are getting to know once you hear it, do you believe it at that moment? Of course, you're going to investigate regardless if you don't believe it or not. You're still going to have to investigate because of
this is what I'll do.
Hold on. How y'all gonna tell him how he feels? Wait. How you gonna debate him on what his method of resolution would be?
Because he's not answering the question.
He said that he
answered your question.
He answered it very clearly, and he added additional context. How y'all gonna tell him what he should be feeling?
Because he lying.
Should be feeling.
No, I'm not. Listen, because I gave you an example.
Because it's the answer they want to hear.
Wait. Because I gave an example of how I handled conflict when I was a much younger guy. I'm 36 now. I'm talking about when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, being responsible for my younger brother and sister. And I still handled it like a grown man.
But that's what
I don't just jump to conclusions right away. I need decent
first. That if you believe that you'll jump to a conclusion.
Let me tell you what they're used to doing. They used to going to their man, going to their father, going to their brother, and having that motherfucker crash out.
I was just about to say that.
You know what happened? I remember there was a case.
Nobody
mentioned a case for a former football player. I don't know if y'all remember this. And he was into it, and he was in a relationship with a woman that also she was married. He wasn't. And I think she had broke his PlayStation or something. It was a significant case. Somebody in the chat, tell me if y'all remember this one. And I don't remember his name, but She went and got her brother and his friends and brought Travis Rudolph. That's his name. Shout out to the
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
She went and got her brother. That motherfucker got killed. And she was lying.
That's a terrible
and she was lying. Hold on, wait. She was lying.
No, that's true.
She was lying. She got her people hit up. And he wound up going to trial and he wound up beating the case. But the fact that he had to go to trial in the first place was problematic because it showed you that a woman that was emotional then went and fabricated an entire story and then got her people hurt as a result of it. And so what we're used to is women thinking that they can get one up because they get bitter about the situation and don't take accountability for what it is that they're dealing with. And so what happens is they used to putting the battery in somebody's back to get them to crash out. And this is this because y'all trying to move the goalposts to make it seem like men should make an emotional decision to remove. Y'all gotta let me finish the sentence.
A lying on us. Let us finish.
To remove responsibility from the girl from making false accusations to try to come up on a guy. The reality is that this is the reason why guys do not trust women is because even when it's very clear that a woman is leveraging the system in order to come up on a guy, y'all still don't give her any responsibility or accountability. And so y'all as a whole still stand on sister code. And this is why guys don't fuck with y'all. This is why as a whole, guys don't trust women no more. And me personally, I am telling them to make sure that they protect themselves against the people that is their number one enemy, which is the person that they probably sleeping next to. The person that you're sleeping, somebody that's watching this, for all of the 3,000 plus people that's watching this right now, somebody is sleeping next to their worst enemy. And when you close your eyes, just remember that is a person that is the worst for you.
That's a wonderful speech for individuals that believe you should
shout out to y'all.
Out on your
guys that protect themselves.
And take your pitchforks and attack someone. Back to what Jess' original question. If this was your daughter to Anonymous, we said when it comes to your daughter as a man, I personally believe you believe your daughter off rip. You can keep the fact that
you don't.
What if your daughter's a liar?
Wait. Kids lie all the time. I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure. Listen, I'd be willing to bet $1 million cash that when you was a kid, you lied your ass off. I'll be willing to bet $1 million cash right now that if we talk to your parents, one of them, either whatever, your aunts or uncles, they will tell you that, I remember when Dalen was lying her little black ass.
All of us lied before.
Guarantee you say that.
We can get off topic for a few minutes.
I'm not. That's very on topic.
Bubble gum, and I lied about going down the street to play on somebody's trampoline when I wasn't supposed to. But when you want to talk about lying about a sexual allegation as a child, because what do you know about sexual anything, and what do you know about purposely making a false allegations that you know can get someone seriously in trouble? You didn't lie and say
they do it all the time.
Especially with social media.
What Anonymous said was the most logical answer that a person can give. He said, I'm gonna go find out what's happening. I'm gonna go investigate, and I'm gonna go figure it out.
Because you believe.
And then when I get additional information, then I take the appropriate course of action because you gotta understand something. Hold on, ma'am. With us being black men, you have to understand something that with how we move and how we think and how we behave, we got to make sure that we conduct ourselves in the most professional and logical manners possible.
Conclusions. I get that because it's not the point. The point is because even if you're saying that, okay, I'm not just going to automatically jump and believe you because if I do, because the strength of the black man and how much we protect our women and our family, if I find out that someone violated you in that manner, I'm going to go kill them. So I cannot.
Hold on. Stop there. This is why we need to remove. This is why we need to remove y'all right to vote.
What are you? I just repeated what he just said.
This is exactly why we need to remove y'all right.
And I don't know what you sniggling for, Anonymous. These were your words.
This is why we need to.
Yeah, but my answer wasn't good enough for you.
I did not say
what it is.
that, brother. I did not say that.
Listen, the fact that you're pushing back on my answer means that it wasn't good enough for you, because if it was
You
good
will
enough for
not
you,
let me
you would have
finish
accepted it
my
and moved on.
No, it's because you're lying.
Ma'am,
So
ma'am,
not,
you would have
hold on,
accepted it and
yes.
moved
I
on.
don't want to say
Hold
that
on,
he's
y'all.
lying.
One person at a time.
I don't want to say that he's lying. You're getting emotional because we're saying, hey, as a man, when it comes to your daughter, I don't know if you actually have a daughter or not. If your daughter comes, you don't. Okay, but if your daughter,
Childless.
that's well, I'm happy for you, brother. If you had a daughter and she came to you, Daddy, this happened, you automatically will believe.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta mute in between talking because it's a lot of commotion going on. It's a lot of stuff.
Just because you believe your daughter does not mean that you will be so emotionally, I guess, unstable that you would immediately go and kill someone because you just said, hey, you can't just say that to a black man because we'll crash out. But hear this.
Well,
Just
take
because
race out of it. Just me being a man in general.
as a father.
Listen. I'm still expected to put my emotions aside and make a logical and rational decision based, regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how I feel. If somebody cuts me off on the road, I'm not going to try to track them down and crash their car. If somebody bumps into me, I still have to analyze that situation.
Fuck off. Wait. Stop. We're getting too far away from the subject.
Well, I can't even finish the thought because I'm letting you know I'm not saying that you
Bro,
are
you crazy out your mind. You crazy in real life.
I'm not pushing your answer back. We were just saying that you do believe your daughter. If she say that, because you investigating it means that you believe her, but it's not going to say that I'm automatically going to punish or assign the guilt to the person that she accused.
That's not what it means. If a person says that they're going to they go investigate to figure out what happened, it doesn't mean that they default automatically believe the person. It doesn't mean that they don't believe them. It doesn't mean that they do believe them. It just means that it means what he said. It means that he's going to go
saying that there's a difference between hearing this, like in this type of conversations, hearing about a friend down the street, as compared to your child. It's somebody else's problem, but you're going to be your child's voice. So no, in your mind, you don't have to say, okay, this happened to my daughter. I'm gonna let everybody know, and whoever she accused, I'm gonna treat you like you guilty. That's not what I'm saying. Your daughter said this. You trust her enough to believe her in that moment between you and her, and you are going to take the adult route to say, you know what, as the adult, I need to investigate everything she told me. I'm going to ask all the pertinent questions, everybody involved, and I'm going to effectively, appropriately, and with self-control investigate until I can confirm that the ass whooping in question that I need to give someone is justified.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah, but when I said that, you said I was a liar.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
I didn't call you a liar.
Y'all said I was lying.
The best way for y'all as men, the best way for men to protect themselves, y'all got to mute up in the background, whoever it is. The best way for men to protect themselves is to stop dealing with these broke bitches, to be honest with you guys. I'm being real. I'm being absolutely honest.
You just
she was crazy for saying that, but go ahead.
Can y'all hold off for a second? It doesn't mean that he's wrong. All right, you gotta remove that part of the conversation. Shannon Sharp in no way, shape, or form, in my opinion, is wrong. Not even a little bit. Not at all. But what I'm saying is, guys have to take expertise. It's almost like
you're proving the point right here.
I'm not. You got to let me finish. It's almost like I'm not wrong for not going outside and carrying protection. Like, I'm not wrong for not carrying a pistol. But if I get robbed, you can't hold me accountable for getting robbed because I'm green or because I was in the wrong area at the wrong time. I'm not wrong. I'm the victim. All right. Now, what I'm saying is, in order to not become the victim more often, maybe you should carry protection. In this instance, what I'm saying is the form of protection is to not deal with women that are not on your level financially. That's my point. Are y'all not listening to what I'm saying?
You're not listening to us. We're gonna treat you just how you treat us.
That's my point.
But what woman is on his level financially? You said he's about to make $100 million. Like,
no. Where are
the $100 million women?
Miss Pink Hill, the point she was trying to make, and the point that Anton is speaking to, he said you got to leave these bitches alone because bitches got the wettest pussy, the fattest ass, the biggest titties, the person.
No, he said broke. I heard him say broke.
He said broke.
I'm just like,
but look.
So if you're saying broke, I just want to know, like, listen, I know where you guys are coming from, that he should have a higher caliber, a man of that type of means and that kind of clout should have a higher caliber woman who may be hypergamous, but she's not trying to just grab the bag by any means.
It's less likely she would behave that way. It's less likely she would have a character that would stoop so low to make a nasty, evil.
You know what? You know what? I'm sorry.
You have Claire Huxtables out here.
One mic, y'all.
Money's from the club, but you want to be at the club with them titties when you could be at home with a woman who knows how to knit a sweater from scratch. Who can
but those Claire Huxtables,
you know, Claire Huxtable is boring to these dudes. She's boring.
But then you pay the consequences of increasing your chances of diseases, of impregnating these bitches, and now you're on child support, impregnating women. The younger you are, the most likely you are to be broke as being older and maybe being more established. And if you fucking on a rich man and the chances are you willing to fuck on him knowing he ain't gonna offer you shit, you probably don't have good character.
I said this.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on.
What mic?
Reducing your chances. Nothing will ever.
Hold on, please. I said this a long time ago, like some years ago, and I was wondering if this was still true today. And I said it a long time ago, and I said, the biggest enemy of a man may be a woman.
I agree.
It ain't, especially the black man. It ain't white men. It's not none of that shit. The fact that y'all can't even see it clearly, even with the lawyer, the finesse lawyer, and all of that shit, the fact that y'all are literally that Jess said, I blame Shannon Sharp for this, is absolutely insane. It is the most insane thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm gonna say it.
And I'm absolutely positive.
At this point.
Y'all gotta let him finish.
I am absolutely positively disgusted with the state and the mindset of the women that we dealing with today. It's unreal. It's y'all great grandmothers would be absolutely disappointed in y'all. 100%.
Mm-hmm. You know what I never noticed? With the women who come out and say he did this, he did that, you never really see their mom or father or their uncle or their auntie or their grandma or cousins or anybody saying, yeah, this is a trip, this happened, woo-doo or nothing. You just see that one woman and maybe one of her book of best friends saying, yeah, like bucking her up to do that. So like when it comes to like believing these women, I think that kind of speaks for itself. Like, you mean your daddy's not here supporting your claim, or your mom's not here, or your grandma, nobody. It's just you and a shady lawyer. So that's all I was gonna say.
Well, that's good for people who want to shame me. I think y'all are responding to conversations we are not having. Y'all are responding.
Hey, Dalen.
Thank you, Dalen. Thank you.
I'm giving you the grace that you're misinterpreting what we're saying, but we're getting all the trying to blow smoke because you don't understand what we're saying. Anton,
we gotta move the conversation forward. And we got to move forward.
I'm moving forward. You said men lead these.
We gotta go to Dalen. We gotta go to the next topic.
Hold on. Before we go to the next topic, I want to get with Mercedes. I want to hear Mercedes and what she got to say, because she's been pretty quiet. Mercedes, you good? You there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
What are your thoughts, Mercedes?
I believe that two things can be true at once. I definitely agree that we can't just jump to accusations, that the lady is telling the truth. I do believe that this happens all the time with men of his caliber. But I also do agree with the ladies that you attract their energy that, you put yourself out there to be and, around and involved in. But I definitely believe both things can be true at once.